Hey, what's going on, guys? And in today's video we're going to be continuing our honest review series, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Finding Nemo for the PS2 and Nintendo Gamecube. Now the reason why I'm talking about this game over another game that I was going to talk about today is simply because we've already done a playthrough of this game and we've finished it, and the other game I was going to talk about we haven't done a playthrough of, but I have played it and I'm debating whether to do a playthrough of it if I can find an emulator for the console. I'm not going to tell you what that game is yet because we still got a few more playthroughs to finish. But regardless, this is my honest review of Finding Nemo for the Gamecube / PS2. Enjoy. So Finding Nemo works in a way where you go through completely different levels that correlate to the film. But for some reason some of them are not in order, which did kind of bug me on my very first ever playthrough of the game, and I noticed this. But now it doesn't bother me too much as the levels aren't the worst thing in the world, but some of them can take you up to 45 minutes. I'm not joking. So obviously these first few levels, they won't be too bad because they're the first few levels of the game, you know. But then when you get to this level, fuck this level. Can I just say this right now? Fuck this level in the ass. Why? Because this level took me 45 minutes to beat on our playthrough, and then when I replayed it, it still took me half an hour in an attempt to get a better time. That level is shit. Hide and seek is decent. The mass search and anglerfish chase aren't bad, but mass search does take a while. Also, we have levels correlating to jellyfish racing, training with Gill, which isn't in the film. We have stuff to do with the ESC, the plan to stop the filter, the whale chase, the treatment plant, which is the hardest level in the game by far, and then fishing net rescue, which is the final level of the game. So this level does have quite a this game does have quite a few levels in it. It has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 levels, which is it's actually a decent share of levels. And considering the size of each level, if you know what you're doing, the game will take you on average about 3 to 4 hours to beat, which is a bit depressing, but obviously it's a GameCube game, you can't expect too much out of it. But regardless, I'm going to show some gameplay, I'm going to talk about the gameplay, the soundtrack and everything else. So we'll just jump into going to school and then I'll talk about the gameplay. Also, the FMV cutscenes are brilliant.
Nemo, that's my boy. So, how's the lucky fin?
Lucky! Watch me swim over to that coral!
Okay, I'll meet you there. Why don't you try to swim through all those rings of bubbles on the way?
So this is the game, and as you can see from that cutscene there, they don't have the original voices from the film, which is kind of sad, because the voice cast from the original film was amazing, with Albert Brooks as Marlin, with Ellen DeGeneres as Dory, and then
and keep trying
who voiced Nemo? It was something Gould.
Yeah, let's go!
Alexander Gould as Nemo, yeah. So this game came out in the year of 2003, the same year as the movie, and also the same year as Sonic Heroes came out. And in comparison, the graphics on this game are nowhere near as good as what Sonic Heroes managed to pull off. As even today, Sonic Heroes looks brilliant, and this is mediocre, to say the least, but at least the replacement voices they got for the characters that needed a replacement voice, at least those voices are actually half decent, including Nemo's, which, fun fact if you didn't know about me, in Finding Dory, I don't like Nemo's new voice. I honestly do not like his new voice actor. So that is just a small complaint of mine, but like me aside, we're going to continue to talk about the game. So as you can see, there are these green bubbles, and that is the main gimmick of some of the stages. And one of these gimmicks is to swim through all the rings to get a star at the end of the level. And the stars are what essentially unlock bonus content, which, you know, it could be the soundtrack, concept arts for the film of the game. It's actually it's a chore to get all the stars, definitely, because I haven't managed to do it yet. And
Tad
essentially,
and said you got lost in
to
here.
unlock all the stars, you'd have to add another 5 hours of
Do you know
playtime
the way
on.
out?
Because some of the star missions are puzzles, and some of them are just a straightforward swim through all the rings. And then once you've done the levels challenges, you have to do some bonus
there's
challenges
Nemo.
afterwards, which
With
is a
Pearl.
little bit
Hooray!
annoying.
You found her!
But apart
Hey,
from
guys,
the
look what I
annoying
found in the cave.
types of things, let's talk about the
You can have it,
gameplay.
Nemo.
So
Thanks for
the
saving
gameplay
me.
for this game, the
See if you can
controls
carry it
are
with your
good.
fin.
I won't
All
lie,
you
the
gotta do
controls
is
are
hold the
actually
action
good.
button.
But
That's
also
what
as
becomes
well,
like these
can I just say this now? Why is this a puzzle game? It might not look like it from the gameplay you're seeing on screen, but I can promise you now, this is not a 3D like playthrough
Look,
type
Dad,
of game.
we
It's
can
a
keep
puzzle game.
going.
What
This
are you
is
doing?
just like a
You could've
tutorial
been hurt.
level, and then the next
Dad,
few
I'm
levels
fine, let's
are like
go.
another tutorial type of thing. You know, they're just like swimming around in 3D. But then after you complete the first like few parts of the game, which, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film, which I would highly recommend you watch the film before playing the game, Nemo does get captured in the film, and
Whoa, those rocks
also
almost
after
fell on us and now we
you
can't
get to the
move
part of
them.
the story where Nemo gets captured,
Nemo.
the levels become
Let me
really
do it,
puzzle
Nemo.
based, as you have to do a lot of tile
Oh,
shifting
gee,
to match a
I can't move 'em.
picture,
Oh well, we'll have
look
to go
for
home.
a maze,
Hey, Nemo,
and
maybe
other
you could
tedious
do it.
things like that,
Try
which is
pressing
really,
the
really
action button to
annoying.
dart through
But
them.
then when you get levels like this, which is just a simple stretch to the end, you know, point A to point B, they're
you
not
okay?
that bad. They're
How's
actually
your
alright. And also, can I
Fine,
say,
Dad.
Molly's voice
Look, I can see
is...
school.
Come on, Nemo. Right, yeah.
It's acceptable,
let's go.
I guess. And also, this is another challenge for a star, the racing, which, if you're trying to get all the bubbles, can be absolutely terrifying. Not because it's scary, but because you can miss the bubble rings at any time. And then, like that, I've just gone them all there, that was complete luck. But then on my first replay of this game, when I completed the race, I finished in third and didn't get the star because I
That was
thought the race was
fun.
over when I collected
Look
all the
over
bubbles.
there. Baby
But that was just me
clams.
being
Let's
retarded.
go play with them.
And also,
Hey,
this
Nemo,
game
I bet you didn't
promotes
know that you can
fish
knock bubbles
abuse.
into other
Yes.
creatures and then dart
Like, as
into them
Tad
like
is
you
saying
did
here
those
now very
rocks.
kindly,
Really?
we have
Let
to
me
knock
try it.
bubbles into
Clams are
certain
stupid.
creatures, and then
Nemo,
you have to
be
dash
careful of those
into them,
clams.
killing them. And as you can see, these are baby clams, and the game encourages you to trap them and kill them straight up. This game is very, very cruel to ocean life, but regardless of that, that was the first level. We got another FMV cutscene, so I'm going to skip this just in case of copyright notices. Well, at least in the FMV cutscenes, they have all the original voices. Except for one which we'll come on to later. And also, as I described in my playthrough, I like to call the Gamecube version of this game AIDS loading time the video game, because I just skipped out 1 minute and 20 seconds of loading times. I'm not shitting you, the cut I just made then skipped through literally, actually, I'm going to save that over that save file because that's got less stars, but I just skipped through literally and like that what I said, 1 minute and 20 seconds of loading times, which is atrocious for a GameCube game. But other than the A's loading times, let's go and talk about the soundtrack.
Okay, the drop-off. All right, kids, feel free to explore, but stay close. Stromolytic cyanobacteria, gather. An entire ecosystem contained in one infinitesimal speck. There are as many protein pairs contained in this one bacteria as all the grains of sand in the entire ocean. Come on, sing with me. There's Porifera, Colenterata, Hydrozoa, Scastifoa, Anthozoa, Centiphora, Bryozoa 3.
Nice song. So I'm going to show the loading times this time. So, like I said, we're going to talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is good in places where it wants to be. So, what I mean by that is, the levels that are all jolly, the soundtrack is nice. But for some reason, just like the film itself, the soundtrack can be terrifying. Like, I'm not saying Finding Nemo is a scary film, because it's not, even though Google thinks it is, if you've seen that old video of mine. Like, Finding Nemo is not a scary film. It can scare some little kids at some parts, you know, like the opening or the scenes with Bruce in them. But why is the soundtrack so scary at times? Like, let me give you some examples of terrifying soundtracks. The level that we're about to load into, Mask Search, and then in the film, some scary soundtracks can be Barracuda. The way, like, not when it goes all orchestral and it's like, you know, vroom and then drums and shit. It's like the build up to it. Like I will probably play an extract of it in between this clip, but like the soundtrack in this game can be scary, and as you can see, this is why I call the game AIDS loading time the video game. Why are you taking so long, especially on an emulator? You should be going faster than normal. Like, I am not recording GameCube footage, this is an emulator. Like, listen. You don't think it's that scary, but then you listen to those breathing noises, and that is what makes it just terrifying in my opinion. Animal abuse continues as well, and this time you get rewarded for the animal abuse. Also, anemone parties. Yeah. So, as you can see, the soundtrack isn't the worst thing in the world, I guess. Like, it sounds perfectly normal and like kind of scary, I guess. But then also, at the same time, like, it's just when you hear the breathing noises, that's when it gets scary. Because I'm not saying I'm scared of it, because I'm not. I'm honestly not scared of it. It just doesn't sound kid friendly. I'm just saying. And also, why are these adults, pufferfish, trying to kill an innocent little kid?
Hey guys,
Never understood that.
Whoa.
And also, in my original playthrough, at this part here,
Hey, what's that?
when it showed the chain,
I know what
I
that
did
is.
this.
Oh, Sandy Plankton style one. He
You
said
couldn't
it
hear
was
me do it though,
called
because
a
because the
Look at
camera
me.
quality was
I'm
awful.
gonna go touch the ball.
And the reason why I went whoa, because me
Come on, Nemo.
knowing,
How
like,
far can you
oh,
go?
and watch this. This is hilarious.
My dad says it's not safe.
You know you can't swim well.
Okay, yeah. So the reason why I breathed like that at this part is because knowing I am tiny and there's something in front of me that is 10 times the size of me with hazards coming all the way along it, that thought terrifies me. And I think I said it in the playthrough, but knowing that this chain here is like triple, not even that, 10 times the size of Nemo, and there's also these bigger fish trying to kill him at the same time, it really does. It's a scary thought, honestly. Not only is it a scary thought of child molester, but also that there's these like ginormous objects and shit. It's really scary, and also
Nemo,
fish out of water.
stop it right now! Don't you dare! If you put one fin on that boat,
The boat's
are you listening to
textures,
me?
like,
Nemo!
they're non-existent. The boat looks
He
so
touched
ugly,
the
and Nemo
boat.
looks so
That's
goofy
right.
there.
You just paddle your little tail right back here, Nemo. You are in big
And I'm pretty sure it didn't take
trouble.
Nemo that long to get to the boat in the film. But at least the diver model isn't too bad, I guess. I mean, it's decent. I don't know if you could actually get caught by that hand. Like, I've never been caught by the diver like that. But you have to essentially use the bubble rings to speed up, because the bubble rings in this game give you a boost. So essentially, at the end of this level, you just gotta mash the A or X button, depending on what console you played on. I don't know if this was on the Xbox, I don't think it was. But if you just gotta mash the hell out of that A and X button until your fingers are gonna drop off. And also, like, do you get it? The drop off? And then also use the bubbles to speed up. And also, here we go. We got our next FMV cutscene of Nemo getting taken, and the film gets put into play, and so does the game. Now I'm gonna skip forward a few more levels so I can show you what I mean by some kind of terrifying things for little kids, and also what I mean by a scary soundtrack and a puzzle game.
You want a piece of me? Yeah,
Just
yeah.
listen to
Ooh,
Bruce's
I'm scared
replacement
now.
voice
What?
because they couldn't get
Stop
the rights
following
to
me,
using
okay?
his
What are you
actual voice
talking about?
actor.
You're showing me which way the boat
Oh
went.
my god, it's
Oh,
hilarious.
hey,
Like,
I've seen
seriously.
a boat
I don't
pass
understand
by
how
not
they
too
can
long
get the
ago.
rights to
It
Ellen
went,
DeGeneres' voice,
this way.
Albert
Yeah, it went this way.
Brooks,
Follow me.
Wait a minute,
Alexander
wait a minute.
Gould. They
What
got
is
all
going
those
on?
voices,
You already told me
but they
which way
couldn't
the
get
boat was
Bruce's
going.
voice.
I
I
did.
don't understand that, so...
Oh, no.
If this is some
It's a
kind
little
of practical
strange, but
joke,
just
it's not
I'm gonna let the rest
funny.
of this play
And I know
out,
funny.
and then I'm gonna
I'm a
let
clownfish.
Bruce's
No,
voice,
it's not. I
like,
know it's
clip
not.
thing
I'm
play,
so
and then I'll
sorry.
end this little
See,
cutscene
I suffer
thing
from
and go to
short-term
the
memory loss.
reason why it's a puzzle game.
Short-term memory loss. I don't believe this.
No, it's true. I forget things almost instantly. It runs in my family. Well, I mean, at least I think it does. Where are they?
Finding Nemo 2 confirmed.
Can I help you?
Something's wrong with you. Really. You're wasting my time. I have to find my son. Hello?
Now, if that wasn't bad voice acting, I don't know what is. Like, did you hear that shit? He sounds like he just snorted 10 lines of fish cocaine and then decided to take a bath in crystal meth. Fish don't take baths. That was awful. Now guys, we're gonna talk about why the areas this game really fucking sucks. So as you can see, this was a very like easy first one. So you just gotta jump behind.
Hey there,
here.
little fella. Seen any of my friends around?
At least Bloat's voice sounds alright. So this is why this is a puzzle game. Not only do you have to go searching for a lot of shit in this game, but also, here comes the worst part, you've got puzzles. And how can you have a puzzle underwater? Well, these fucking things. Now, I know a lot of people love these things in real life, but trust me, I am not a fan of these things at all. And these puzzles, because you don't have any indication whatsoever about where what will end up going, like, this could take you forever. And as well, if you haven't seen the film, you won't know the character design. So if you don't know what Deb looks like, well, that's too fucking bad, pal, because you're gonna have to either Google that shit or watch the fucking film first. Now, I'm swearing a lot because this really pisses me off. This really steams my kettle. Like, I have never been so mad about one of my favourite films of all time getting a video game that you need to watch the film for to understand, with some terrible replacement voices. Well, not all of them are terrible. And then it's a puzzle game. Like, what gives? THQ, the people who made Battle for Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob the movie, Rugrats for the PS1, they made this. Just what went? I can't even speak now. What went wrong? I don't understand what went wrong here. How do you butcher a video game tie-in to a film this much? Like, I'm not saying the game is awful, because I'm obviously going to give my honest opinion at the end of this video. But, like, I'm not saying the game is awful, but this part of the game is just... this is just bad. And also, look, you get this that you think you've done it? No, because there's always going to be one piece that you missed out, and then you're going to have to unscramble it all again. And you're going to have to start once again from scratch pretty much, because you have to move everything back around until everything's completely finished, and then you want to end up ripping out your pubic hair and also slapping yourself. Like, I know I'm getting a little bit too triggered about this, but like, I'm not joking, this seriously triggers me. I don't understand how, like, you could put this into a game about a fucking fish that gets kidnapped by a human. Like, just listen to that as a concept. A fish gets kidnapped by a human being and gets taken to a dentist's office. Complete puzzles to find the fish. It sounds ridiculous, but that is essentially how I could describe this game. And once again, like I said, in no means am I saying this game is bad, because it's not a bad game, to be completely honest. Well, you know, it clearly can't be a bad game if IGN gave it a fucking 70%. But it's like, the game's not bad at all by any means, but there are some areas of the game which are just downright terrible. And sections of the game can take you hours to complete. Like, if I had to compare the length of some of these levels, I would compare it to Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed. And if you guys know what Eggman Land is from Sonic Unleashed, like, if you know about Eggman Land, you know how much of a pain in the ass that level is. So if you put into concept this game and then compare that with Eggman Land, you know you're in for a not a very nice time, to be 100% fair with you. But the game developers decided to go this way down the road, and they managed to pull it off successfully and non-successfully, and as you can see here, I've just butchered it once again, and now I'm getting a little bit pissed off. This is my own gameplay, not someone else's, and I'm speaking as I'm playing, so I'm gonna get a little bit pissed off now, which I probably shouldn't be doing, speaking while playing. There we go, I've done it. I probably shouldn't be speaking and playing. I probably should have scripted this, like record the gameplay and scripted it, but I don't care. I wanted to do this as a live commentary, but the rest of this level is piss easy, honestly. Like, now you know what I mean by a puzzle game. I'm gonna show you what I mean by another example of a terrifying soundtrack.
The mask! Where's the mask? No! No, no, the mask! Get it! Get the mask! Get the mask! Get it!
Oh boy. This is our first stage where, oh no, it's the second stage we get to play as Dory. And it's not a very good one, to be honest, because this level is completely puzzle based and you have to keep switching between Marlin and Dory, and essentially you have your own different puzzles to do as each of them, and it gets really annoying and the level is really long, and I'm not here to talk about that. I'm in this level to talk about its fucking music. Oh my lord, when I did my original playthrough of this and I forgot about the music in this level, I shit my pants when it started. I'm not joking. I instantly paused the game and thought to myself, how is this in a kid's game? It sounds like something from a horror movie or something like that, like whenever it loads, because, yeah, there we go, listen.
Dory,
tell me how that is appropriate for a kid's game.
Can I help you?
Yes, we're
like,
looking for
seriously?
a mask, remember?
And then because obviously it's an emulator and the graphics aren't the same, well, they are the same, but they're not exactly the same as the original, you can't necessarily see this in the background. But in the background of this level, where where everything's pitch black, when it decides to light up eventually, you can see a massive skeleton. Like, I'm not joking, it's a huge skeleton. And it is not the best thing to look at, to be honest.
Just keep swimming.
Kind of scary.
Swimming. Hey there.
And also this level is terrible, so I don't want to play it anymore.
Like
Oh, look, Krill.
Move, Dory! Move!
Now that we have the terrible levels out of the way, let's talk about one of the best levels in this game. Like, hands down, this level is brilliant. Not because it's easy, because it isn't really that easy. And also, I do have invincibility on. Yes, I'm cheating just to get gameplay. But this level's soundtrack and atmosphere is gorgeous, as well as the interior of the whale. That sounds disgusting. But as well as the whale's insides. The graphics on them, they make it look really nice as well. But the way the whale makes its noises, it's just so majestic, and it's just, oh, it's beautiful. It's honest to God the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. This level just makes me not want to hate this game as much as I do, even though I don't hate the game. If that made any sense at all, which it probably didn't. So I'm just gonna ignore the fact I talked about that. And once again, this level has one of the longest loading times in the entire game, which is definitely not frustrating at all. You know, this is only just making my video longer, so hurry the fuck up, game, thank you. Just listen. Not only is this soundtrack in general just so nice, but then whenever the whale just starts going like, it sounds, yeah, right there, it just sounds so beautiful. Honest to God, it's amazing. I love this level to death. Even though this part, it needs some more decoration because it's really bland. I know you can see there's a big fucking untextured whale behind you most of the time, and you go really slowly as Marlin. Like, when you actually enter the whale, oh my lord, the level gets interesting, and the are just as beautiful as ever. And the way it closes its mouth there with all these like bristles as teeth or something, whatever they are. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that cutscene, to be honest. It looks weird. But other than this part of the whale, which is definitely one of the worst parts of this game as well, the jumping jellyfish parts as I like to call them. Now let's actually enter the main stage. This part, even though this is a Gamecube game, these graphics are stunning. Like, I'm not saying that anything like, I'm not saying they're as good as Shadow of the Colossus Remastered or anything like that, because trust me, they fucking are. And I should have died there, but obviously cheats. So, like, this game doesn't look the best, I'm not gonna lie. But if you just look at how textured this whale is, and you appreciate what they had to work off of, this is really, really gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in love with this part of the stage. And also, again, like I said, the way the whale just talks to you is, oh, it's majestic. Like that, you can hear it. And as well, Dory is fast as fuck, and that's another reason why I love Dory stages. You can just breeze through. Like, I'm not even tapping the accelerator button, I'm just holding right. But then when I tap the accelerator button, it does nothing else. Like, it should make a difference. So just ignore the fact that I should be dying here, but I'm not, because I just want to get gameplay for this. Like, seriously, this level is, like, I'm supposed to be talking about the game, not the levels, but I just had to bring up the fact of the attention to detail at this part. And then here, I don't know what this is supposed to be inside of the whale. I think it's its arsehole, or its blowhole, or whatever this thing is supposed to be. But this as well looks absolutely amazing. It's so gorgeous. Like, the game's graphics can go from downright terrible, like here, because the eyeballs aren't even connected to the character model. They can go from downright disgusting to gorgeous. And also, we see this cutscene twice, once with music and once without, because they couldn't get the FMV of the whale blowing them out of the whale hole thing. So they just reused the ESC cutscene, which is kind of, it's a bit retarded, but oh well, you can't expect much.
Dory? Nemo! Nemo! I'm coming, Nemo! Nemo! Oh, thank goodness.
Turn around! You're going the wrong way!
It's coming! Right behind us!
Honestly, Marlin is one of the best parents in movie history. He is one of the most dedicated fathers I have ever seen. So, honestly, just tops to Marlin. Even though he's not a real person, just tops.
I know what to
Right
do!
now.
We have to tell all the fish to swim down!
And I thought, what a better way to end off this honest reviews by completing the final level of Fishing Net Rescue. Now this level is not the best level in the world. It is essentially just swim around the fishing net and find Dory, which is finding Dory. And then you gotta press the action button, which is B or X, depending on what you're playing on. And then that makes all the fish start to swim down, like they do in the film. And also, this is virtually a free star. I'm not joking. That is a free star. Look at Nemo's model though.
Need some help in here.
Yep.
Tag some more in here.
So all you have to do is just swim around and press the action button, which I'm not gonna lie is a very, very disappointing way to end the game, considering what you've already been through. Because this is one of the easiest final levels in video game history. I am not kidding you. This is one of the easiest levels ever. Like obviously there are threats, these things that are falling off the boat, which they can definitely kill you easily.
Let me tag some more in here.
Because I should have already died now. But still though, this is so easy. And I'm about to lose.
Hey, need some help in here.
I had one more to do, and I've messed up because I went for the star first. But that doesn't matter. I can easily do it again. So, yeah, you have around 70 seconds, or a minute and 10 seconds to complete this level. Which, when you think of it, it sounds really easy, but it's actually, if you go for the star as well in the same run, it's not really that easy, because you can very easily just like flunk it at the last minute. And also, if you want to find out where Dory is like easier, just follow Molly, but I would recommend just doing laps around the net, as it'd be 10 times easier to find her. And so, despite this being one of the worst final levels in video game history and one of the easiest, it's a very satisfying conclusion to the game because the music in this level is amazing. It really does fit the mood, and also it does tie into the game probably better than any other level does in the game. Did I just say it ties into the game? No, it ties into the film better than any other level in the game, to be completely honest with you. So, when this FMV finishes, I'm going to cut to the next part, and then to conclude this video.
Seriously, Marty, did you really do all the things you say you did?
Oh, we just wanted to make sure that our newest member got home safely.
Thanks, guys.
Keep up with the program, Dory.
Remember, fish are friends.
The reason I cut back in there is because Bruce didn't say a single line of his dialogue, because the game developers knew how shitty his voice is, so they didn't even bother to give him dialogue at the final parts of the film, which I just think is downright hilarious.
Love you, Dad.
Simply because the fact that obviously, like I've already mentioned this, his voice is so shit, they didn't even give him his last bits of dialogue in the film. Honestly, that is fucking hilarious. It's not sad or anything else like that. It's just down. It's just funny. That is. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Honestly, it is. And what better way to end off this review by rolling the credits and giving the final honest opinions on this game. So, all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just sit back, relax, because I now know that I have finished this review. And am I sad that I finished this review? No, absolutely not. I am just as happy to finish this review as what I am when I was finishing the actual game. Now, why am I happy to finish this review? I just can't be arsed doing it, to be completely honest. Yeah, so essentially, I'm going to roll the credits, and when the credits start rolling, I'm going to give my honest opinions whenever they roll. Anytime now. Credits, like, seriously. Are you gonna do me like this? I want to see the credits to your cough cough revolutionary game. You know, you're not just, you know. Seriously, you really taking this wrong? Come on, man. It surely doesn't take this long. Really? Really? Like, this is. Have we been doing this for like a minute now? This isn't gonna look good in editing. I mean, like, I'm just trying to make this funny, but I'm not funny. There we go. Alright, so developed by Traveller's Tales, and then this is where we get to see all the beautiful character models, and then the amazing people who made this game. And fun fact, Michael Jackson contributed to the making of this game. When it pops up, I will let you know. And then, obviously, yeah, hey, look at Bruce, my boy. Yeah, so, look there, Michael Jackson. It said in the programming, Michael Jackson. Go back if you didn't see it. Right, so my final opinions on this game. The graphics are nothing special. The gameplay is nothing special either, but it can be fun, and it is mainly just shit though. What else is there? The soundtrack is actually really nice, and also the fact that the level layout was only made by one person. Props, because the level layout is actually kind of good. So the soundtrack, like I said, is good. The character models are kind of mediocre, but I do like Bruce's. It does resemble him from the film, but not as good looking, obviously, because it's just on a Gamecube engine. So, my final opinions on the game. I think that the game is nothing special overall, but it is definitely worth a play. Even if you're bored, it's worth a play. And if you're not bored and you just want to play it, pick it up from your local store if they still sell Gamecube games or PS2 games. And if not, pick it up off like eBay or Amazon and definitely give it a play. Because I bought my copy of this game, I'm not joking, for £2.50. Because some GameCube games are really cheap like that, and other games like Mario Sunshine, they're still selling for £50, which is atrocious. So, my final opinions, I would give this game a solid 6 out of 10. It's decent. So, thank you so much for watching this video of honest reviews. If you did enjoy, please be sure to smack the like button, and also let me know your honest opinions on this game, because I have seen many mixed reviews on this game, and then mainly they've been positive, and I will agree, this is not a bad game by any means, but it is bad in certain spots which you wanted it to be good, especially Bruce's voice, because that is just disgusting. So, thank you once again for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and also let me know if you want to see more reviews of movies, because I do have a lot planned out for the games, but I have none for movies. So if you want me to do like a movie review of Finding Nemo itself, then I will do that. And if you want me to do another one of, like, let's say The Incredibles, Shark Tale, Deadpool, It, I'll do it. Honestly, I will do it. I'll have to, if I've seen the film, which I more than likely would have done, then I'll do it. And if I haven't, I'll watch the film and then I'll do it, just so it's my honest opinions. So once again, thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Let me know your opinions below, and subscribe for more content that will be on the way very shortly. I will see you all in the next video of mine. Peace out. I'm gonna let the credits roll.